Hi everyone, this is Shrishti from Mountain House Matters, and today I'm here with Mayor Andy Sue, the first elected mayor of the city of Mountain House. Thank you so much for joining us today and taking time out of your day to be here. We're filming this segment for MoHoTV for the residents to get to know our city leaders a little bit better. So feel free to give the audience an introduction and background on yourself.
Hello, my name is Andy Sue. I'm, of course, the first mayor of Mountain House. I moved to Mountain House in 2004 with my wife and first kid,
Mhm.
and then we had two kids after that. In 2009, I started the nonprofit Mountain House Flag Football, and actually, I missed the previous year. In 2008, I ran for the CSD board, and I was elected in 2008. And then in 2009, I started flag football. And I've served on the board all the way from 2008 to 2024 when I ran for mayor. Um, in addition to flag football, of course, I started Mountain House Tennis Club, Mountain House Golf Club, Mountain House Youth Cheer. I coached at Wickland for 5 years, 6 years. And for the last 8 years, I've been the head coach of the Mountain House High School varsity tennis team, both boys and girls. In 2004, when we incorporated and became the 483rd city in California, I decided to continue my service to the people of Mountain House and just transition from the board and ran for mayor. Um, and yeah, so
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's a very inspiring to hear the journey that you have behind this journey to get to the mayor position that you have now. So I do have a couple questions to ask you. So my first one to dive right in would be, what inspired you to serve as the mayor of Mountain House?
well, it actually goes back to 2008 when I first ran for the CSD board. You know, when the Mountain House was a community services
Right.
district. Um, and it's a funny story because I was bored of watching Netflix. Back,
Right.
back when Netflix was came to your house in a DVD. This was before you were born, of course. Um,
Yeah.
I got tired of watching Netflix every night, and I wanted to do something to give back to the community. And so I ran for the board in 2008. I ran for re-election in 2012, 2016, 2020.
Mhm.
And I was part of the board, obviously, this entire time that helped Mountain House move towards incorporation. And
Yes.
when the incorporation vote came, I wanted to continue to serve Mountain House. And why did I run for mayor? I obviously have the most experience out of all the board members. Dr. Bernice King Tingo and I both started in 2008, so we're both the most experienced board members in Mountain House. So I wanted to continue to serve with the experience that I've gained over the years.
I think that sounds great, and I love the way that you framed that. I do have a second question to ask you about, as Mountain House has celebrated its official year of being a city, what
Mhm.
are some of your top priorities for this next coming year?
Wow, top priorities. We need to continue to grow. Mountain House is only half built out right now, and so a lot of we're working on certain the north, what they want to call it, the lake region, the community north of Byron. There's
Right.
4,000 homes up there. We're also working on Central Park phase 2, the new tennis courts. I'm biased because I'm the tennis coach.
Uh-huh.
The dog park and the amphitheater. And we're also working on the park down at South Mountain House in the College Park area. So there's a lot of building and growing, and it's not just houses. We're going to have more retail coming soon. The hangar, I think, is going to be open in the next couple of months,
Mhm.
and Mountain House Square, which is the corner of Mountain House Parkway and Grant Line, that should be open pretty soon. I don't know if you've driven by, but the Arco gas station, the lights already lit up,
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah.
should be in the near future. So.
Uh-huh. I think that's a very insightful perspective as a resident to see how things are going from that side of board. So,
Mhm.
building on that, I did want to ask you, what are you most excited about for the city's future, and how can City Council make that vision a reality?
Well, we've already put in a lot of the work. Like I said, I'm the high school varsity tennis coach, so I'm really excited about the new tennis center. And
Mhm.
we're going to have 9 new tennis courts across from the current tennis courts. And in addition to that, the previous 3 tennis courts are going to be turned into 11 pickleball courts.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
pickleball is one of the fastest growing, most popular sports in the country right now.
Right.
Well, the people who want to play pickleball will now have a pickleball center to play. So both the
Mhm.
tennis players and the pickleball players will have courts nearby. And, you know, I think recreation is very important. You don't want to just go to work every day, come home, go to sleep. So it's
Yeah.
important to get out and do fun things. And
Mhm.
so I'm excited about the completion of the tennis courts, which should be in the next 3 to 6 months.
I think that is very exciting. So thank you for giving us that update too. And to shift gears a little bit, I did want to ask you, what are the biggest challenges that the community should be focusing on right now, and how is the city council going to address them?
Well, there are lots of, every city has lots of challenges, but it kind of depends on your perspective. You know, I don't know if you're on Facebook, probably not, but on Facebook we always see people complaining about bad drivers, running stop signs, and every once in a while a kid gets hit, and
Right.
that's like the main focus of our town
Mhm.
on Facebook, anyways.
Yeah.
While it's definitely bad,
Mhm.
that people are bad drivers and run stop signs and hit people, um, we actually just got a report back last month
Mhm.
that there's this, I can't remember the website, Safe Cities or something. They
Mhm.
rank the safest cities in California,
Mhm.
and the number one city, I forgot what exactly where it was, but I think
Mhm.
down by Southern California. Well, our crime stats are actually better than the number one city in California. So really, Mountain House is unofficially the safest city in the state.
Right.
So, while we have bad drivers and, running stop signs and lost dogs, you know,
Right.
when the complaints are those, that means we're actually doing a decent job. There's not drive-by. Well, there was a drive-by shooting, but uh,
Um,
it's a very rare thing. And if the worst crimes are running stop signs, then actually we're probably doing a pretty good job.
I can testify for, as a resident myself, that that's definitely, Mountain House does feel like a pretty safe place to be, and it's great to hear, from the statistical point of view too.
Yeah.
To move on to the next question that I do have for you is, from your experience and knowledge, for residents, especially younger people, who might be interested in public service, what would you like advise them to do?
Well, we actually did start a internship program recently, and I think we're in the process of hiring a couple of people, but
Right.
unfortunately, these opportunities are limited,
Mhm.
and so many. I mean, I've had so many kids come to me and ask to be my intern, and
Yeah.
there's just not enough stuff to do to hire an intern just for myself. The city itself, we did hire a couple of interns, and for next summer we're going to set up some sort of program for high school kids that can attend, during the summer, because during school year it's hard for them to commit a lot of hours. So um but the easiest thing, I always tell everybody, if you're interested in public service, come to our meetings. We have one or two kids come sometimes, and
Mhm.
you have an opportunity to attend these meetings and watch government in real life. And
Mhm.
yeah, it takes time on Wednesday nights, but if you're interested in it, it's a free opportunity. So I
Mhm.
encourage kids who are interested in public service to come and learn. And unlike the White House, you can come to our city council meetings and you actually get to talk to the city council members and the mayor. you know
Mhm.
so you don't get to walk up to the president and talk to him, but in a
Right.
small town you can actually talk to the mayor.
Mhm.
If you go to the football game tonight, you probably could see the mayor there. you know
Right.
so
Uh-huh.
so
Right.
yeah.
So I think that's great advice, and I think it's very interesting because I haven't heard about this, but I think now that you've talked about it, a lot of people I'm sure would be interested in this. This
but
sounds like a very cool opportunity.
yeah, put it on the TV, and if people
Yeah,
watch it, if their kids are
really,
interested, yeah,
yeah,
they could come.
of course. So to conclude this interview, I do have one last question to ask you. So looking back on the past year, what is one accomplishment that you are especially proud of for the city council's work?
Wow.
You
um I mean,
have to pick one.
we the things we do, so many things that we don't publish every year, but the one thing, it's hard to name one thing. I think the transition from a community service to to a city, incorporated city, took a
Yeah.
lot of work, and that transition went very smoothly because our staff did a very good job and
Mhm.
prepared us for it. And it's part of growing and becoming a city. I think this transition has gone very smoothly. So I think that's one of the biggest accomplishments. Obviously, there are little things like events, and we're building more stores and more retail, and those are all fun. And but I think the transition was very big in this first year.
I think that definitely does make a lot of sense, and it was a pretty big change. But this does bring us to the end of this interview. So thank you so much, Marisu, for joining us today and sharing your insights with us. This conversation will help residents feel connected to the city government and the people leading it too. And we're really grateful for all the work that you put in.
All right, take care, Shrishti.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.